Now you may be asking yourself why I'm starting this video off with the head gasket hanging here. There's a good reason for that. Copper gasket spray. There's two reasons why I do it. First, let me just say that a lot of these manufacturers that make these head gaskets, Felpro, Cosmetic, Tomei, that's just off the top of my head, is they have this black coating stuff which is supposed to act partially like this. These are to seal any imperfections on the block and the head, so you know, if it's not perfectly machined, then it can at least seal properly, because a metal head gasket needs to be perfectly flat for it to properly seal. I don't always trust their shit. Even Tomei, even Cosmetic, like, they're really good gaskets. They make really good head gaskets, but I don't always trust it. I do, however, trust copper spray. And not only does it help with filling in the little bits, it also helps with heat transfer. Now that that's out of the way, welcome to the video where we're going to be installing the head again. Just like all my other videos, I'm going to voice over a lot of it. It's hot. I'm going to turn my fan on. I've also been working all day, so you might see me in a couple different t-shirts just because I'm trying to knock this out when I get off work. I'm not going to beat around the bush too much longer here. Once again, I'm going through some new designs, so just like in the last video I posted, in this video, drop any ideas or anything like that you guys have down below. The dog and the Sparko jump race suit, 100% a for sure thing that's happening. I got other news, but I'm going to save that for the end of the video. Let's go ahead and jump into installing the head, and this is going to be a full video of how to put the head back on the car with the proper torques, the sequence, how to do everything. So one of the first things I noticed here before putting the head on was the old intake gasket. I was just trying to take it off. It was stuck on there, so I had to get my wire wheel and kind of like shave it off piece by piece. I was trying to get it with the razor blade, but the thing with the razor blade, I can do it because I've done it for a long time now. But you got to be really careful, because if you nick the head, I guess you'll damage it, and sometimes it won't seal properly in that spot, and you might end up with a leak. I've seen it, so be careful when you're doing all this. So best just to get a wire wheel, because that ain't gonna do any damage. You just wire wheel it off, and just take your time, then off you go. Of course, towards the end of all of this, I aired out the intake on the inside, because you don't want to be installing it with all that dirt, grime, dust, whatever that stuff is inside. So at the very end, it's not in the video, but I blew it all out with my air gun. And this is the head bolts. Now you can use motor oil. A lot of manufacturers recommend that, but this came with some anti-seize, which I used instead. Now I'm going to have it up here in the top left hand corner of each step of each torque specification. These head bolts, by the way, are a 14mm 12-point socket. You will need that for this job. But here is the first part here. It's this torque spec that is up on the screen right now. I forgot what number. I think it was 29. And without looking at it off the top of my head, I don't exactly remember, but I know that it's like 29, and then another number, then the end one is 72. Oh, the middle number was 51. That's right. So it's 29, 51, 72. And do that in the order that's shown here in the picture. 3 different steps. And so this is step 1, and I'm going to play step 2 here. I'm just going to let it run through. I really don't know what to say. It's been a good week. I know I said I had some exciting news for you guys at the end of the video, but I think I was just bullshitting. I don't remember what I was going to say. There was something I was going to say, but I don't remember it now. It's been a couple days. Also with this job, there's also some stuff that kind of got messed up on this job. So I stripped out the tensioner bolt for the timing belt. That's not in this video. If you follow the channel, keep an eye out for my shorts. They will be on my YouTube shorts. Not happy about that, but I can fix it. It's not a huge deal. And then this should be the last part here. And then this is the last torque step. And then what I do at the very end is just check all the torque from front to back and make sure it's all at the 72 or 73 foot-pounds it needs to be. And then with that, we are moving on to the camshaft. For all my fans back home in Oregon, I will tell you guys one thing for this last part here is it is hot in Texas in the summertime. I love it though. But man, no, the summer's no joke here, for real. But I'm okay with that because I do like that all the way up until December. It's still like 80 degrees outside. So I miss you guys back in Oregon. I sure shit don't miss the weather out there. But you know, there's that. That's more of a personal thing. But that's just what I think about working out here. I'm going to try to find like a little AC unit for the garage. That way I can not do these voiceovers. I like these voiceovers, but I'd rather be talking into my little robot penis and call it a day and just edit it all at once. And so once again, here we go to the camshafts finally. I have it also up here in the top left corner for you guys to use. It's... The torque spec on these are a lot lower, so just be careful with that. It doesn't really take much. What I did too is, I know it doesn't really look like it, but I actually cleaned those cam covers before I put them on. It's good practice to clean parts and whatnot. I don't know. Sometimes customers enjoy that. Some customers don't care, but it's nice. And there is a torque spec for the cams, which I will be doing here. What I wanted to do, though, is in the next clip, you'll see me do the timing. I don't actually show the timing. I have a video posted on my channel on timing on these motors. So you can go back and watch that if you're looking for timing stuff. But I don't torque the cam gears down until the timing is set, only because I don't even know if you can torque them before then. I've always torqued it with the belt on, just so because it's gonna rotate, and I'd rather have it rotate in time so I don't have to worry about that. So yeah, there's that, but we'll be moving on to that right now. And so the cam gear torque is super simple. I put a ratchet on the crank bolt to hold it on the brake caliper so it wouldn't spin the motor when I would go to tighten it. And that's me trying to make sure I got my lefty loosey righty tighty set up down there properly, which I didn't because it obviously spun on me. But I couldn't get a torque wrench on one of them, so what I did here was I kind of tightened them both kind of the same degree on my hand ratchet, my little ratchet that I'm using right here, and then I checked to see if it was torqued with my torque wrench right here with my actual torque wrench to confirm it, and I say that's pretty good. And then I readjust the timing because the belt was off a little bit forward, as you can see right here. But I got it all set, and this is where I stripped out the tensioner bolts. So I will be fixing that in a later video. Keep an eye out for my shorts because I'll show you guys how to fix that with the helicoil and everything like that. So in the removal of stuff, you have to loosen the lifters so the cams don't they'll come out without any tension on them. Essentially, it's kind of the purpose of it. Now, when you're putting it back on, you'll have to check the clearance of the valves. Do basically a valve adjustment. And my dumbass here forgot how to do it for like 30 minutes when I was messing around with it. I was like, wait, why isn't it setting properly? And you see me here kind of dick around with things, but it's because the way this works is you have to have a wrench on the nut and then your flathead on the screw, and so you make your adjustment, then you hold the screw and then tighten down the nut, and then you can tighten it down to, I think it's like 19 foot-pounds. It's barely anything, so good quarter turn and you're solid. But yeah, so this is me not messing this up, but forgetting some of the logistics of things. So I'll be doing that off camera. If you want a video on that, on how to do a valve adjustment, let me know below. I'll make an entire video on it. And And then after this, it's just setting up your intake, your exhaust, and everything. I'm going to show you guys where some of the smaller stuff is, like some vacuum lines and stuff like that, connectors and whatnot, that is really easy to forget. And then after that, that's pretty much it on doing the head gasket on one of these motors. Alright, I tried something a little different. I was trying to hold the camera and do this at the same time. Now, it didn't really work out too well, but these are the connectors for the fuel injectors. There's a vacuum line that goes to a hard line right next to the motor mount. You should be able to see it if you're doing this. I don't really show it very well, so I apologize for that. That's my mistake. But the other side of that vacuum line goes to diaphragm something. It goes to something. I'll be sure to not have my camera in my hand doing this again. I don't know, it's just better on my tripod. I really wish I had, honestly. You know, if I could have like 8 arms, I think my life would be kind of cool. I'd be like a weirdo though, but like I don't know, having 8 arms would be pretty rad, to be honest. I'd be able to do so much more stuff at the same time, work wise, let me make that clear, and that would be pretty cool. But you know, I only have 2. I'm a normal human being, I guess, so there's that. And anyways, moving on. Alright, and the last stuff that's kind of hard to remember, it's not the big stuff, as the fuel line here. Make sure you have new crush washers for it. These are the vacuum lines I was talking about in the previous video. So one goes to the intake, the rest of the intake manifold when that's on. I'm showing that is where that goes, and the other vacuum line from the fuel bill goes to hard line. Here's the other side of the motor or engine bay, I guess. That vacuum line goes there. Those 2 connectors go up top. This vacuum line goes there, and then that one that's open goes to the actual intake itself. And then I'll show you guys this if you want to pause the video, take a picture of that or whatever. That is the vacuum diagram if your car doesn't have it. And so with that, I just kind of show off the car of, you know, all the work I've done. It looks pretty, thank you. And then I just point the camera to my dog. So this is the end of the video. It's a pretty simple job. The hardest thing is definitely putting the head on, doing the valves and the cam and the timing. That's like the most complicated thing about Honda motors, and they're really not that complicated. So, well, if you can learn how to work on Honda motors, you can work on anything. So here's my dog, and she says goodbye. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment, and we will all see you in the next video. Have a great rest of the week. Bye bye.